Hi, this is Emily Swallow, and you're listening to Star Wars Reactions. This is the way to podcast.
There's been an awakening. Have you felt it?
In 1977, George Lucas formed a legacy.
Force is with me, and I am with the Force.
Inspired by mythology, his saga has become a passion for many.
Feel the Force around you.
His legend has become our story.
It's true. All.
One of resistance,
We are the spark that'll light the fire that'll burn the First Order down.
rebellion,
Rebellion is built on hope.
and redemption.
I am a Jedi, like my father before.
This is Star Wars Reactions.
Remember, the Force will be with you. Always.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another fantastic episode of Star Wars Reactions. We are so happy you are joining us this week because we are continuing our discussion of the incredible new animated series, Maul Shadow Lord, as we discuss chapters 3 and chapters 4 of Shadow Lord. So going to be a great time, and there's a lot of news that's kind of just popped up over the last 24 hours too we need to discuss as well. So let's get these introductions out of the way and start moving here. My name is Aaron Harris, and joining me is the he's just an incredible guy. Is the David Motters. David, brother, what's up?
Oh my gosh. Just having another night of recording with you. You and I talked before we started recording. Just good to be able to record and just forget about reality for a while and just enjoy this awesome series. Ready to react. And looking forward to covering these two episodes.
Yeah, this is going to be a great discussion. A lot of great things to talk about this series and about these two episodes in particular that were the latest released. But before we do, we had two huge announcements made today. Well, one huge announcement and the another release. So let's hit on those. The first one, of course, was the news everybody had been waiting for, which apparently broke earlier today. Of course, we're recording. What is today's date? This day has gone by so insanely quick. I don't even know what today is.
Today's Thursday, April 16th.
Okay. So you will release this April 17th, but as we're recording this April 16th, see, everything's just so run together today. We are earlier in the day was announced a surprise announcement. I wasn't expecting this today, but they announced Lucasfilm and Star Wars announced that tickets for upcoming Celebration Los Angeles will be going on sale May 6th. I tell you.
Get ready to drop some money.
Absolutely. I know we discussed right before we started recording how, last May we were talking about the Mando movie, and last May we're like, oh man, May is just so far away. And now we're just, we're almost to May, and, Celebration is in 27, but right now it feels so far away, but it'll be here before you know it, the way time is going right now.
Oh yeah. And this being April 16th, Celebration next April is less than a year. It'll be over by now in a year, because it'll be April 1st, I think, through the 4th there in Los Angeles. So obviously you and I were on earlier texting with Daz and Mary and Greg and just talking about it and looking at it and just kind of the angst that occurs with trying to buy tickets, as well as you get a 4-day pass or 4 one-day passes. Who knows? It's just, I think you just click and wait, I think, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's exciting. It's the 50th. It's the 50th anniversary, and it's going to be a big whoop-de-doo. So I'm hoping to be out there. I plan to be out there. I hope to be out there. Let's just, good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. You know, I mean,
Yep.
we can plan all we want, but let's get through this April before thinking about next
Next
April.
April.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you there, my friend. I get you there. Let's look at these tickets for a minute because they announced them.
Mhm.
Of course, they have the 4 day tickets for all 4 days if you're going, and they have the individual day tickets if you can only go 1 or 2 days. If you are looking at kids tickets, the 4 day pass is $105.99. Then you have the individual days, Thursday at 36, Friday at 45, or excuse me, 46, Saturday 46, and Sunday at 46. Um, if you are an adult like us and you're going, your individual days are Thursday at 76, then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are $91 each, or a fantastic 4 day pass for only $260.99 plus tickets, plus your fees and your all that probably go along with it. But if you want the ultimate celebration experience, you can get the Jedi Master VIP package, which includes 30-minute early entry into the exhibit hall and VIP lounge, Thursday night official celebration store shopping experience, guaranteed admission to all panels on the celebration stage. Must arrive 30 minutes early prior to the start of the panel, or seat may be forfeited. Designated VIP line for autographing and photo ops. Designated VIP line for celebration store. VIP lounge with complimentary coat check and charging stations. Who needs a coat check in April?
Not in LA.
I was going to say, who needs a coat check in April in LA?
You shouldn't.
Anyway, on site VIP concierge and exclusive VIP badge, holographic badge, excuse me. You can have all this for one low price of $1,210.99 plus tax and fees.
They say those things go like instantaneously. I mean, you know, even if you
Yeah.
try to get them, I don't think you can get them. Basically, it doesn't seem like it, anyways.
Yeah. I remember in past celebrations, VIPs are usually sold out within the first hour or two, which is insane to think about that.
Yeah.
Um, but then the 4 days don't last that long at all either.
No.
So it's a matter of picking and choosing your days and everything. And so
Yeah.
I know you said you're going to be trying to go. I can go ahead and I can make the announcement that I will not be there.
Buddy.
I know. I'm disappointed. Y'all are disappointed. David's disappointed. Daz coming over from Wales is disappointed. Um, but my daughter's getting married this summer. Her husband's in the military, and we found out they are going overseas and for their first duty station. So my wife has already told me that we're going there next summer.
There you go.
Yay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
It's no, and you and I've talked about it, family first. And
yep,
the last time I went was 2017 with
that's
you.
the last time I went.
It's a decade, and I
My
don't even
hand
know where.
constantly reminds me about it.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't even know where that went.
I know,
I thought,
right?
oh, 2019, Aaron, maybe we go to Chicago. No, you and I had family responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
2022 in Anaheim.
Mm-hmm.
No. 2023 in England. No.
Nope.
2025 Japan. No.
Nope.
No. I cannot go to the other side of the planet and do that. No.
I was reading some of this online too, this evening, that with the last two celebrations being overseas,
Mhm.
they're expecting this one to sell out a lot
Oh,
quicker than normal because there's a lot of anticipation and a lot of longing for the celebration experience again stateside because not everybody has
right.
the opportunity to travel overseas.
No.
So
But yeah, and what I guess the last home one, U.S. one, was
it was
2023.
Chicago, wasn't it?
No, 2023 in Anaheim.
Anaheim. That's right.
Yeah,
Okay, I forgot
yeah,
about
and
that.
then yep,
Yeah,
yep,
Anaheim. So yeah, it's been a good while.
yeah,
Uh, so yeah, so that is coming. So set your clock, set your time, so you can grab your tickets and good luck and may the force be with you and as you
yeah.
endeavor. It's almost like going for tickets online like that. It's almost like the Hunger Games. Yeah, it's
I feel like I'm gonna have to probably buy individual day tickets and
yeah,
pay more because people can ask for more.
yeah,
So I'm anticipating that. I think most people are. So
yeah. I get it.
yeah,
I get it. So.
yeah, yeah,
Well, the other thing that occurred is, of course, we got the final trailer this evening for Mando and Grogu, The Mandalorian and Grogu, coming to theaters May 22nd,
yeah.
which is right around the corner. Again, right around the corner. Uh, I mean, I tell you, everything is just. Where is
Right.
this year gone, David?
We were just trying to finish 2025, and now we've got almost 4 months of
It,
2026 gone. It's
I,
unreal.
I don't know where it's gone, man. It is insane. Um, but yeah, so that final trailer dropped. Absolutely fantastic. I enjoyed it. It was a nice. It was still just enough there to make you want more, without selling the story away. So
That's right.
it was good. It was good. What were your thoughts on the trailer when you watched it? Because I know
Oh,
we found out about it right before we started recording.
yeah, yeah. No, I watched it on YouTube. And of course, Mary sent us a link as well,
Yep.
and um they're playing the Star Wars music, and it just gives me all the feels, and seeing the X-wings flying and opening up the what is it, attack foils, right?
Hmm.
As foils in attack position, and oh my gosh, and just hearing Pedro Pascal talk about Grogu, how he will live beyond him, and in this one he talks about how the older take care of the young take care of the older, and um it's hitting me in all the feels. So I'm anticipating some tears when we watch it May 21st down in Orlando there.
Yep.
So Disney Springs. So
Yep.
I'm
We'll
looking
be
forward to it, man. Just want to have some fun. Just a good old popcorn movie and just have some good old Star Wars time.
Absolutely, absolutely. We will. I'm looking forward to that, and I'll go ahead and tell you, tickets. I saw 2 tickets for that go on sale tomorrow.
Mm.
I saw, so I may even try to grab a couple extra tickets for the weekend and see it again. Uh,
Eh,
why?
Why
Why
not?
not?
First Star Wars movies in the
This
theater.
is the
Star Wars
way.
movie. What? 7 years.
Yeah,
7 years? Are you kidding me?
I know.
Yeah.
Yep. So my totally off. Well, not totally off subject, but so we got the movie coming out. We got the Return of the Razor Crest in the movie. Um, they're bringing the Razor Crest back to life. You think they'll bring Quill back?
Oh my gosh. I
Just
don't
kidding.
think so. I don't think so.
Just kidding.
Oh.
But yeah, he comes out. He comes out. It's like Grievous's body with Quill's head.
Oh. That's the only way to do it, you
This is
know.
the way. Excuse me. Anywho, but yeah, a lot of great things happening. A lot of great things to look forward to, and we will be right here along for the ride, one way or another, and it's going to be great. So,
Yeah.
oh, David, we still got a lot to cover, so let's go ahead and hit the whole purpose of this episode today, which of course is episode or chapters 3 and 4 of Maul Shadow Lord. Chapter 3 entitled "Whispers in the Unknown," directed by Stewart Lee, written by Julia Cooperman. And of course, the synopsis for this one is: as Maul plans come together, Devon considers her options. Then, chapter 4, Pride and Vengeance, directed by Nate Villanueva, written by Amanda Rose Munoz. Synopsis: a confrontation between Lawson and Maul threatens everyone.
Dun dun dun.
And boy, does it ever.
Well, it does actually, yes.
It is, wow, what a. So let's get into this. Let's just jump in and have some fun with this. What were your initial reactions, my friend, when it came to Whispers into the Unknown and or Whispers in the Unknown and Pride and Vengeance?
Well, for my initial reactions, I just would say I can't tell you how much I'm loving this series. I mean, I was talking last week about all the superlatives. I was on Coffee with Kenobi with Dan Z last week and said the same thing. These episodes 3 and 4. Uh, you and I talked last week. I anticipated them. All of these episodes uh, making it easy for me to do my little mini psychology corners. And oh boy, did the 3 and 4 deliver? I don't have enough time to cover everything. It's so delicious there. But we'll do some mini psychology corners, and so I'm so thankful for that. I love these episodes for that, and I was writing out my initial reactions and my final reactions, but I think I'll put it in both. That the serialized nature of this, right? I'm really enjoying, and versus being episodic, right? Like a lot of the
Yes.
Clone Wars and Rebels and stuff like that. Even Resistance, right? When you and I
Mhm.
covered that, but this is very serialized, and I'm really enjoying that. And I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed with this series. 4 episodes in, that.
Mhm.
So, how about you?
Oh man, I tell you, I loved these episodes. It's rare for a show like this to constantly move the mark with each episode. And we're 4 episodes in, and they've constantly moved the mark with each episode. Um, I'm absolutely enamored with the visuals, with the art, the colors, the darkness and shading, and oh my gosh, the Kiners are
Mm.
killing it.
Mhm.
I mean, the music in these have just been spot on. It's it's just fantastic. And I say it again. I said it last week, and I say it again this week. I'm to the point where I can confidently say, as much as I love the movies, animation is my Star Wars. I enjoy it so much more. Now I love the movies, but there's just something magical for me about the animation, and it's just unmatched in my opinion.
Yeah. Well said, man. Well said.
So let's get into some of these talking points here, and I want to start off with one that's not on here that I just didn't have a chance to put on, which of course relates right back to my opening segment, my opening initial reactions, which is the Kiners
Mm.
and their music, because chapter 3 opened up with this huge crescendo as things fired up right where it left off in the last. So you got this huge crescendo of music, and the story picks right back up, and it tells this entire structured story about, in this particular episode, with Maul and Devon going head to head, and him trying to work his magic of manipulation on her, and her wrestling with the right and wrong and everything there, and ultimately ends with her escaping. But as it's fading out and it fades out on Maul's eyes, you get that huge crescendo again, which just
Mhm.
heightens the emotion of what's going on. And I have just got, and I could not talk about these episodes without talking about that, because they have set the way they have opened every episode has set with the music, has set the mood and set the tone of each one so far.
Well, I think I mentioned this in an episode. I don't know how many years back. We've been doing this a long time. And I started grad school in the fall of '92. And at the same time, my buddy had moved to Los Angeles. He still lives there. And I remember he was kind of getting into the kind of the whole TV and movie industry. And he was talking about how it's one thing to film a movie or a TV show, but when the music gets added, it's kind of, I think it's called like adding the sweetness. It's just really just tightening it up and just adding that layer on that's so needed. And you got me thinking as you were describing this, my head immediately went back to season 5 of the Clone Wars when Ahsoka leaves and walks
Mm-hmm.
off the Jedi
Oh my
Temple, and
gosh.
the
Yeah.
music that Kiner did there, I was just in tears. And so I just, I'm so impressed with him, and now he has his what two
Two children.
two children helping, and it's as good as ever. I'm so impressed.
Oh, it is truly the best. And we've talked about the music of Star Wars in the past, and we've talked about John Williams, who's bar none the greatest composer and cinematic composer who's ever lived. There will be no other like John Williams, and I will argue that till the hill I stand on is swallowed up by the earth. But the Kiners have done just as much for Star Wars with their music as Williams, in my opinion, has done. Williams did the 9 movies, but Kiner has done Clone Wars, he's done Rebels, he's done Resistance, he's done. Uh, he did Bad Batch. Did he
Yeah,
do
and the
that? Yeah,
tales
Bad
of
Batch
stuff.
and the Tales of, and now this one, Maul. So it just fits so perfectly into into the aura. And I think, and I've said this, I know I've said a lot of this stuff I've said before when it comes to the music. And I love how David Collins put it, where with the music of John Williams, and in this case, the music of Kiner for these episodes is you have your body, you have your life, your story, you have your life, your everything's there to go. But when you add the music, it's the breath that gives the story life. And that to me, there's just nothing is better defined than these series.
Mhm. It's amazing how much music moves us,
Hmm.
even if you're not a big music person,
Hmm.
right? Think about watching these episodes without that music or movies without it. Any
Oh,
movie, not just Star Wars, but like even like, you know, I think of movies set on Earth and they're, period pieces or whatever. Imagine no music, just
no.
nothing, and it would be a lot different and not as good.
Oh yeah. Oh no, absolutely. And I mean, it's I can't help but go back to when Rogue One was released, because I love John Williams. I love the Star Wars soundtracks. I've listened to every single one multiple times. So when Rogue One came out, I'm like, this is going to be great. Williams wasn't doing the music, but it's Star Wars. It's going to have great music. So you go in and it's Star Wars. You expect that big boom and the logo and the scroll. You expect all that. And all of a sudden we just get one vroom, and then a ship going to a planet. And I'm going, what the heck? Just and it threw, and honestly, that first viewing of Rogue One, that threw me so much. I walked out of the theater going, this movie sucks. And it wasn't till the second viewing the next day, because I had already bought the ticket, which I'm glad I did, because if I wouldn't have, I probably wouldn't have gone back and I would have missed out on a great thing. I went back in and I'm like, okay, I got to tune out the music and just watch this movie. And I did. And it was such a fantastic movie. And then when I actually sat down and listened on its own to the soundtrack, it's one of my most listened soundtracks now.
That's cool. That's cool.
And Michael Giacchino, who did Rogue One, did a fantastic job. He made it his own. He incorporated Williams' music
Yeah.
here and there, but he told a story with his music, and made it his own. Left his mark on the saga, just like the Kiners are doing. So,
Yeah, you have to.
oh,
You can't
absolutely.
just copy it. You can't just copy it. Yeah.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. So let's keep moving, because we start off with the episode, like picks up right where the episode 2 left off, where at the end of episode 2 she uses the Force and gets out of the prison, the little cell she's in. And as this episode picks up, she's out of the cell, walking around trying to figure out what's going on. Then of course the Mandalorians show up and usher her down a hall. She enters a room and there's Maul, and she begins to have this discussion. Maul begins to have this discussion. It's very one-sided, um, and basically discussing with her about, you know, it looks like you're getting coming out a little bit. You're coming out of your shell. Then starts talking about how with the Jedi's gone. There's no purpose left, and no hope, because the Jedi are gone. And they're a lot alike because of who the person that destroyed his dreams is the same person that destroyed the Jedi Order. And it kind of beginning to set the stones of, we should work together to take down the bad guy, who is the Emperor. And he's kind of you could tell that's where he's kind of going, but he hasn't said it. But it was a very interesting conversation. It was a very manipulative conversation, and it continued that thing the plot twist that we had with her from the last episode, with her wrestling with that good and evil morality debate that she's wrestling with because of Maul. What were your thoughts on that part of that? I mean, basically, it's how this episode opened.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it continues, what we talked about last time in the psychology corner, and that is, I left our listeners with, is there ultimate truth, right and wrong, or is there moral relativism? And it is interesting, how Maul talks, and I said this with Dan last week on Coffee with Kenobi. It's much easier if someone just tells us a flat out blatant lie. You're going to pick up on that, Aaron. I'm going to pick up on it. Our listeners will. The toughest thing is when someone is telling the truth and sprinkles in a lie or multiple lies in there. In particular, if it's like 75% truth and like 25% lie, it's really hard, because then it's not fully the truth. And that can be very difficult to tease out, or we call it discernment, right? Kind of discern what is truth or not. And some of the things he's saying there are true, right? His master destroyed his family, his mother, his brother, and destroyed the Jedi Order. So, what do you do there? And this is like, I keep thinking about not just Devon, but young people today. And what do you believe? What do you not believe? Particularly with AI now, like, as I go through Instagram or Facebook and I look and you see something and you're like, well, wait, Star Wars, or is it, a political figure, or is it a sports figure? I don't know if that picture is true, if it's false. Is the story true? Is the story false? How do you discern that? And someone says, well, do your homework. Well, where? What do you, what do you go to? Because everything seems, confusing. So it can be very difficult. And, you can see Devon there really holding her own, knowing that he's a murderer,
Mhm.
He doesn't deny it. Um, and what do? When you're sitting in front of someone that powerful, that strong? Um, she says she's not afraid of him. He goes, yeah, you're not afraid. You're weak, and
Yeah.
it puts you in a vulnerable position.
Hmm.
But yeah, particularly another thing I was thinking about in both these episodes is I'm like, holy mackerel, this Zabrak was trained by the most powerful
Hmm.
Sith Lord, in the galaxy.
Yep.
So, so Maul is the real deal, and
Yep.
so I love the continuation of this as it goes into three, and we can talk a little bit more. My mini psychology corner, and you hit on those two words, purpose and hope. We can talk
Hmm.
about those in a little bit as well. But yeah, no, this just bam goes right into what I love to cover.
Hmm. Oh, it is, and I love it when we get nuggets like this in episodes for you to break down, because it feeds so perfectly into what to into your talents and skills. And you said something that jumped out at me, and you were like, talked about how Maul was trained by the most powerful Sith in the galaxy, and but not only that, he was infused by the power of the dark side by the Night Sisters to
Mm.
be trained for Sidious. So it's a double whammy there, and it's when he says, when she calls him a murderer, he's like, "You're a murderer." He doesn't deny he's a murderer, but he justifies it. And he justifies it by bringing it, by turning the spotlight back on her. Because what happens at the beginning of this episode? Or the beginning of the series, she goes to jail because she stole food. She stole food because her master's hungry.
Mm.
So Maul knows this. So Maul, when she gets called, calls him a murderer, he's like, I. He doesn't deny it. He kind of straightens up with a smile and is like, I. He goes, we all do what we have to do to survive.
Yeah.
And you could tell that took that at that point he flipped the table, or she thought she had the upper hand. He flipped it back on her, and you see her kind of sink back a little bit, and her and the expression of power that she had with that statement just kind of vanished,
Mhm.
which again is just incredible animation.
And writing.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. And I am very much, whoops, my very much impressed with what we're getting in this.
Mhm.
Um, Now, one of the big reveals in these episodes is in the conflict that we have brewing between Brenda Lawson, and
And two
Two
roots.
Boots, the
Yeah.
droid, his partner, uh, when it comes to dealing with the Empire. He just doesn't, there's a couple points in here where he's basically just like, we have to call the Empire. This is getting out of hand. We got to call the Empire, and he keeps telling him, no, we're not. We can't do that. And Two Boots kind of looks at him and goes, "What is your problem?" And asks him, goes, "What is your problem with the Empire? Is it a legit issue with the Empire, or is it just because your former wife works for the Empire?"
Mhm.
So now we find out that Lawson's ex-wife, or current wife, that they're just separated. We don't know this full story there. Is an Imperial, is somehow working for the Empire. We don't know how. My gut tells me she's probably ISB.
I was wondering about that. What if she rolls in on that Star
That's
Destroyer?
what I was. That's what I was thinking.
if
That's
she's
what I
the
was thinking.
if she's the commander of that, it's one thing to be ISB back on.
Dude,
Oh, that that will really fire this
dude. If
up.
she's the captain, if she's the commanding
Yes,
officer of that Star Destroyer,
yes,
oh
that
my gosh, they have taken this to a whole new level.
That will be
Um,
juicy,
dude,
juicy.
I really can't wait till next week now.
I
Uh,
know, I know. Um,
uh,
well, and and I put in the show notes because I thought it'd be fine now because I'm sure some people have read the comics and stuff, but and I've heard it on some other podcasts, them talking about this, but I didn't mention it before. The first Maul comic came out in March. The other
mhm,
one came out just last week,
last
second
week.
one. Next one will come out in May and stuff like that. There's five total, but two have been out. But in the first one, it does reveal Kleiss, Chief Kleiss. She's in these episodes,
Hmm.
and but in the comics, she says your bounty hunting days are behind you. Just remember that. And so they reveal that, and then of course this with his wife. So we've got a little bit more backstory on them, but there's a lot of ways this can go, and
Hmm.
it'll be exciting to find out. Or I don't even know if they hold on to that till season two, but we'll see.
I
Yeah.
tell you, there's a lot they could hold on to till season two. I
Mhm.
mean, they can they, you say this, everybody said, especially last week, it was a nice slow burn.
Mhm.
There was nothing slow about these episodes this
Not
week.
these two.
These
No.
two were high action, fast moving episodes. Um, because we get multiple battles in these episodes. We get the when Devon makes her escape, we get that fight between Maul and um, Devon, which was a
Mhm.
fantastic lightsaber fight. Just the difference between their two styles reminded me a lot of watching Vader fight Luke on in Cloud City. He's sitting there with his one hand just blocking everything, and Luke is just both hands on his lightsaber, swinging hard and just making the quick moves. But one thing I did notice in this, and I wanted to get your thoughts on this, is when she first gets she takes the lightsaber from Maul, and that's how starts to make her escape. She force pulls one of his lightsabers, which he planted for her to do. That was a total setup. Having it sitting there next to the tea tray, he was trying to
Mhm.
serve her tea. Um, the way she took the lightsaber, she initially got it, pulled it up to the side, kind of like you saw Qui-Gon do, but then she kind of does the the
Yes.
Obi-Wan stance where
Yeah.
the lightsaber at her head pointed out, and he's got the other hand extended out. But did you notice her hand?
No, I didn't notice.
Where Obi-Wan's hand is always open, pointed toward her,
Mhm.
hers is in a fist,
Mm.
which
Interesting.
which I found quite interesting because with Obi-Wan, he's got that stance. You can see his emotion. You could tell he is in control of the situation. He's
Yeah.
in control of his feelings. He's in control of what he knows is going to happen. But her, if you look at it, her fist is closed tight, and there is just almost anger in her face at that
Mm.
point. And there's just anger and fear. It is a total opposite of the Obi-Wan stance, and that just totally intrigued me, and I didn't know if you had noticed that.
I didn't. I noticed her stances, but next time I watch it, I'm going to look at her hand being a fist versus being open, and she is a Padawan, and I
Hmm.
think about her versus being a Jedi Knight or a Jedi Master, and how she is not in a good way.
No.
This is again going against Maul, where you saw him defeat Qui-Gon.
Hmm.
I mean, which is a Jedi Master. I mean, Maul did that, and we
Hmm.
can talk a little bit more about the fight between Maul, Devon, and Master Daki.
What? Yeah.
And so we can get to that a little bit, but yeah, there for Maul, there's no worry, there's no concern. He, like you said, one handed. It even reminded me of some of the Clone Wars watching Dooku and
Yeah.
do the one handed
Yeah.
kind of one arm behind his back, the
Yep.
one arm, and just basically conveying, I have no worries. I know exactly what I'm doing. I can
Yeah.
beat you with one hand, and I'm just showing it to you visually as well.
Yeah. Exactly. And going into that other fight with Daki included there at the end of episode 3,
Or 4.
or 4, excuse me, end of episode 4. You see her make that same stance, and her fist is still closed, but it's not as tightly closed as it is because she's more at ease because she's with her master. Her fist is still closed, but it's not as there's a difference between how tight her fist is closed, which I found extremely interesting. Because she's more at ease because with her master. But there's
I gotta look
still
at that. I gotta
there's
look for that.
still that
Yeah.
there's still that, to me, that still just shows her struggle with what Maul has been planting in her head. Even though she does the right thing, she protects her master, she fights Maul, she saves his life, she saves Daki's life there at the end of the fight. So it's very much there. She's making good choices, but the you could still see by her stances, her facial expression, everything, the struggle is still there.
Yeah, I again, you think about a seasoned veteran in the NBA or the NHL or pro football, right? Pro baseball versus a rookie.
Yeah.
And not that the rookies aren't talented and they're in the league for a reason, but there is something to say experience and being able to be calm in the midst of these things is huge. That ability to calm oneself,
Oh, absolutely.
And she needs to be able to do that, but he's working on that. Yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely. So continuing on, because we're running out of time, I want to move this along, and there's so much we're not talking about that we could talk about. I mean, these episodes are so good we could talk for hours.
Oh yeah.
And hours. But a couple other things I want to hit on. Of course, we talked about those lightsaber battles, but then we need to talk about Maul's plan of vengeance against the Pykes, because we know he's using
using
Vario, loyalty Vario,
yeah,
to get with the Pykes and everything. Sets up this meeting with the Pykes after creating a incident with the delivery on Janix. So Vario sets up the meeting. He's like, it wasn't me. It was some of Nicodemus's rogue lieutenants after he died, tried to take over. I took care of it. They're all boom. Which is exactly what he said. They're all boom. And it's all done. It's all done. It's taken care of.
yeah.
And I'll bring you the money. I'll bring it myself so you can trust me. It will be good. Of course, this is all part of Maul's plan. He gets there. They unload the gold at Pike's base. And of course, out of nowhere, this rogue fellow comes out with this red lightsaber and starts cutting everybody down. And of course, you're like, oh man, Maul's here. This is going to be quick. And then Vario pulls out a blaster and stuns him. Like, okay. Then we get drug in before Marge Krim, of course, voiced by the extremely talented Stephen Stanton.
Oh yes,
love Stephen Stanton, fabulous guy. And he gets brought in. He talks about how, hey, you know what? I brought you Maul. We're good. Krim brings Maul up, pulls the hood back because nobody had pulled the hood off yet. And it's not Maul. It's just another one of Maul's minions. Another Zabrak. And next thing you know, he goes, where's Maul? And all of a sudden the door opens, this big red light behind Maul. And of course, Marge has Maul's saber in his hand, at which point he goes all, Ben Solo, turning it and cutting him and slicing him up with a la dadgummit.
Oh, you're talking the way that Ben Solo did it to Supreme Leader Snoke?
Snoke. Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. Because that's what he did. He used his hand force, turned the lightsaber, sliced him up. Didn't slice him in half like he did Snoke, but sliced him enough to kill him. And
That's
of
right.
course, started taking out the rest of the guards, and the final three surrendered, and he's taken over the Pikes again.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
fabulous, fabulous scene, absolute genius plan. Um, and I thought it was just very well done, and it was an excellent plot. Definitely, definitely, as Dooku would say, worth chronicling in the Order of the Jedi. Um, what
Nice.
what were your thoughts on the revenge
Yeah.
against the Pikes?
I guess I was curious if Vario really knows what he's doing. Is he like thinking, well, I am really helping the Pikes and I'll get rid of Maul because he's a mess and he wants me dead anyways. Or if he was really working for Maul the whole time. That's not really revealed. I kind of think he was working for Maul the whole time. I think, but I could see where I don't know. They make it kind of where you don't know, but it's either the Zabrak is either Icarus or what is it? What's the other one's name? Crap. There's
Yeah.
two main ones. I'm blocking on the other one. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm curious about that with Vario. Of course,
Mhm.
he's a gangster anyway, so
Yeah.
he'll go with any wind that blows that keeps him alive. So there's that. But I
What?
thought that was really cool. In fact, what Maul said got me to where I'm going to go back and read Son of Dathomir, and I
Ooh.
want to look at that and read that again because that I was curious to see if it's in that where, like Maul says to Marg Krim, I came to you after
Yeah.
the Clone Wars. I was alone and afraid, and you tried to kill me. You
Yeah.
failed. So I was going to go back through that. I want to read it anyways. It's so good.
Yeah.
Now I wish those would have been made into episodes, right, of the Clone Wars and flow into this,
Yeah.
right? But anyway, um, but yeah, I always love it when we go to Obadiah. I just so
Oh yeah.
cool, so cool,
Oh
and
yeah.
the main hallway there. Uh, Steven Stanton put a thing out, and he put his two pictures side by side, one of Marg Krim in the Clone Wars, and then Marg Krim in this. And
Hmm.
he says, "Which one do you prefer?" And I responded, I said, "I'm leaning towards the new one. It's pretty cool. I think I did, and both are super cool,
Yeah.
But I said the voice is the key, though, and he hearted it. So
Yep.
he's pretty good at responding to people on those. He has a good time with it.
Oh, he does. He does. He truly does. And uh, he does a fantastic job with all of his voices. And
Hmm.
seeing him back for March Krim was awesome. Um, but 2 episodes
Yes, he's gone.
gone,
Bye.
gone. He's gone. But it was a great scene, great action there. So of course, moving on. I know you already we started touching on it earlier, but we see uh not Devon and Docky reunited
Mm-hmm.
there toward the in episode 4, and
Right.
they get back together, they meet back up, and everything. They That's when they decide to call in Lawson, give him a tip, and go attack Maul. And there's a conversation between the two, and it is almost the exact opposite of the conversation that Maul had. And I wanted to get your thoughts on that because I know you pulled yourself back from going into that earlier, but I wanted you to start moving into that.
Yeah, well, that's a mini psychology corner for me. It's so brilliant there at the beginning of episode 4 where they get back together, and you can see Devon saying, we can defeat him. We're Jedi. This is what we do. And Master Daki says, we're not the kind of the face or the enforcers of truth and justice in the galaxy anymore.
Yeah.
And you could see her argument is, well, whether we are or not, there's good people on this planet. Instead of letting him terrorize these people, let's deal with him.
Yes.
And that gets back to this whole issue of, is there right or wrong? If there's not, who cares? Let him do what he's going to do. Do what Daki said. What did Daki say? You know what? The Empire's coming. We got to get off this planet.
Yep.
Let's move on and survive. But she makes an argument, and you see Daki nod his head and say, you know what? Yeah, there's good people here. It is the right thing to do. and this is something I talked about with Dan again last week on Coffee with Kenobi, is it's not just doing the right thing when other people are watching, it's doing the right thing when people aren't watching.
Yes.
And that's what I thought about in this conversation between a Padawan and a Jedi Master. And I get why Master Daki's saying what he's saying. Um, but at the same time, is the right thing the right thing?
Yeah.
Right? Whether the Jedi are the guardians of justice and peace in the galaxy or not. Well, it's the right thing to take down Maul. It is the right thing to do. Versus, again, if there is no right or wrong, who cares? Let him torment the people of Janix. Move on to the next planet. Both of you survive.
Mhm.
So it's just like I said, just fascinating. I love this. I feel like Matt Miknovitz, who's the lead writer. I thought you'd like it when it was a Munoz, the writer. I've seen her right before in your Spanish background and living overseas and stuff. I'm like, Aaron's gonna so much like saying her name more than Matt Miknovitz.
Yeah.
And so, but all these writers and him heading up the writing, right? He's the main story editor.
Mhm.
Um, they're psychologists.
Yeah.
They really are, and really they're getting to the biggest issues of right and wrong. And in the first episode, are you purposeful?
Yeah.
Maul says you're not. Now that's another mini psychology corner I had, and my argument is no, she is purposeful. She's helping others. He's saying that you're not, and you have no hope, but no, you do. You're purposeful and you're hopeful. And in fact, she conveys that in this episode 4 when she says, "Hey, let's be hopeful or a help and give these people of Janik some hope. They don't know he's coming. He's here, but we can help prevent him from tormenting them." If we do the right thing. So there's two mini psychology corners, one from each episode.
Exactly. And fantastic. I love that. Uh, I do want to touch on the point as we're wrapping up here that there was a discussion between Boots and
Awesome.
Lawson when when Boots was trying to convince him to call the Empire. He's like, in the past, the Republic we would call and they would send a Jedi to fix it. And now we call the Empire. And he's like, the Empire is not the Republic. And that's not where that whole conversation came from. And then we get to the end of of chapter 4, and Lawson gets up to where the fight occurred, finds Devon and Daki, and realizes they're Jedi. And he's like, why didn't you tell me you were a Jedi? And they're like, look at the world around you. Why would we?
It's obvious, right? Master Daki is like, we thought the reason would be obvious that we don't
Yeah.
tell you.
Yeah. And he picks up Daki's lightsaber, which Maul had knocked out of his hand, and holds it, looks at it for a minute, hears the backup arriving, hands it to Daki, and goes, get out of here, go. And lets him leave. Because I see in him a longing for those pre-Empire days. And to me, that was a perfect setup for that.
Oh yeah.
Which, go ahead.
No, and just to piggyback on what you said, then I think more of a relationship between Brander Lawson and these two, right, Master Daki and her, and let's see how this plays out, and Lawson is struggling as a father. He's trying his best as a lawman, and that's delicious. There's so much there you can play with, hopefully they both have a good influence, but I know we're worried about Devon, ultimately how this turns out. So, but yeah, it's just, this episode set the stage for them probably interacting more as we get into more episodes this season.
Oh, absolutely. And it does, it will come because as the episode ends, we have Lawson walking through the carnage of the battle as the injured police and security officers are being taken away. Two Boots walks up and Lawson apologizes basically for turning him off earlier in the episode. Sorry, I turned you off. I hope. And Two Boots looks at him. It's like, it's okay. I hope you can forgive me. And Lawson looks at him. Then everybody's communicator starts beeping, and they go outside and look up, and then we get that incredible scene at the end of this episode with that Imperial Star Destroyer swooping in over the city on Janix as the story changes.
Oh, yeah.
And leaves you on for next week.
That's right. Stakes are higher.
Stakes are higher. The Empire has arrived, and we will see what they will do in episode 5 and forward. So,
Yeah.
there we go. Anything else you wanted to touch on before we move into final reactions?
No, I'm ready. I'm ready for final
All
reactions.
right, let's do it. I will kick it off. Final reactions for these episodes. I mean, again, just absolutely spectacular. I can't. It's rare that a show will do episodes and constantly. I said it earlier. Move the bar for each episode, and they have done that every episode so far. I will say, I'm a little nervous because at some point the bar's got to drop a little bit for it to move up more. You hear the saying, you take one step or 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Yeah. Or 1 step back and then 2 steps forward. It's going to happen at some point. Somebody will be disappointed with an episode somewhere. But I mean, man, they are killing this. And I got to say, like I harped on it earlier with the Kiners. Kellogg and his animation team are just, whew,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, some of the most beautiful animation I've seen. It is just spectacular. And I will go out on a limb and say, if this show doesn't win an award, we strike.
Yes.
So that's where I will end it right here. How about you, my friend? What is your final reaction?
Well, everything you said, and I'll just piggyback and say that 3 and 4 here are even better than the first two. What more can I say? The artistic stuff. I love the darkness, the shading. I love the lightsabers and how they look. Even the sound that they put in the Mauls. I saw a clip of David Collins saying that they've infused some of Sam doing Maul's voice or yelling and putting it into the sound of the lightsaber. It's just gorgeous. Of course, we've already talked about the backgrounds. The cityscapes are just gorgeous. The serialized nature, I mentioned that in my initial reactions. I get a sense, and I wonder if that is helping, because I think Rotten Tomatoes is still at 100%. And I wonder if that's another component of why that it's not episodic, but it's continuing to move the story forward. Dan mentioned it last week. They are chapters. They're not called episodes. They're called chapter titles. Chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, and so all of that makes me so happy with this series. Plus, like I mentioned, it's given me plenty of material for numerous psychology corners, and so I'm just going to continue to try to do these little mini ones throughout. And again, it makes it easy for me, and I love that. But super impressed so far with all 4 of these.
Very good. Very good. Very good. All right. And of course, we want to hear from you and see what your thoughts are on these episodes. You can, of course, do that many, many ways. You can hit us up on any of our social media, Facebook and X at SW Reactions Pod. You can hit us up on Blue Skies, Instagram threads, YouTube, TikTok, Tumblr, all at SW Reactions. Email swreactions@gmail.com. Or, of course, feel free to jump on in to speakpipe.com/Star Wars Reactions and leave us a voicemail. Tell us what you think of Maul Shadow Lord and of the episodes. We would love to hear from you. David, if somebody wants to talk Star Wars with you, my friend, how would they go about doing that?
Well, I think probably the best way is the show socials. Just send one in there to any of the ones that Aaron just mentioned. And also just Instagram. It's at David Motters. And those are probably the two best places. How about with you?
All right. All right. Well, of course, the best place for me right now is most likely Instagram. I will jump on X every once in a while, but mostly Instagram at TA Harris 121079. Would love to hear from you, and of course, all the show socials will be responded to as well. So hit us up there. So that's awesome. Um, of course, we do have plenty going on. Of course, like we said, we got the movie coming up on in Disney Springs on the 21st. We'll be there for that. Ocala Comic Con coming there for that. And if you are going to be going, look for us, check it out. And if you haven't checked it out yet, check out our all new reactions outpost there on TeePublic, where you can get all of your Star Wars reactions, swag. And actually, I got a message tonight. They are started a sale, so now is the perfect time to get what you want.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So, well, my friend, looks like we're about done, my friend. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
You sure you're ready?
Well, after last week, that was a good one last week.
Well, I could tell you I wasn't. I don't have a as good of one as last week. I can promise you that, because it has been a long day, and I did not get to vet my jokes like I normally would. So it is what it is. So this one is not related to Maul, so we'll go with it. But if you are ready, let's go.
All right.
All right. So, did you hear how much it actually cost the Empire to build the Death Star?
No. How much did it cost to build the Death Star?
Cost was astronomical.
Oh. oh. Oh my gosh, man.
The cost was astronomical.
Oh,
It
brutal but good.
was. It was. Well, my friend, this has been a blast.
Yeah, this is fun to record these, man. These episodes have so much. We could go so much longer, but hopefully, just by keeping it to a manageable length, people enjoy it and keep listening.
Absolutely, absolutely. We hope you do, and we want to thank you all for listening into Star Wars Reactions. We appreciate each and every one of you for listening in each week. We love y'all, praying for y'all, wishing y'all the best. Remember, do something kind for somebody this week. The world's such a crazy place the way it is. A little bit of kindness goes a long way. And remember, this is your place for excellent Carabast.
Carabast. We almost got through without a Carabast. Well, there had to be one. You had to have one. Take two.
Carabast. What's that even mean? All right. So let's try that again. Remember, this is your place for Carabast. David, take it away.
Take three. Remember, this is your place for elegant discussion for a more civilized age.
Carabast.
This podcast is not endorsed by the Walt Disney Company or by Lucasfilm Limited. It's intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. The official Star Wars website can be found at www.starwars.com. Star Wars. All names, sounds, and any other Star Wars related items are registered trademarks and or copyrights of Disney and the respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of Star Wars Reactions unless otherwise indicated. Star Wars Reactions. Elegant discussion for a more civilized age.